Hundreds of millions of genetically engineered mosquitoes are about to be released in Florida. Here is what you need to know. Health experts plan to release 750 million genetically modified mosquitoes in the Florida Keys to reduce populations of disease-carrying mosquitoes, according to local news reports. According to CNN, the Florida Keys Mosquito Control District currently budgets more than $1 million a year to combat the Aedes aegypti mosquito. The invasive species can spread deadly diseases like dengue fever and the Zika virus. Biotech company Oxitec designed the modified pests, called OX5034, to produce female offspring that die in the larval stage. In lab testing, just 3% of female offspring survived to adulthood, and these were too feeble to reproduce. Only female mosquitoes bite humans and thus transmit deadly diseases. Males drink nectar, the BBC reports. For the Florida Keys program, Oxitec genetically engineered male Aedes aegypti to carry a lethal gene. This gene should prevent their female offspring from producing an essential protein, thus killing them before they reach biting age. Environmental groups have warned of unforeseen outcomes. They point to a previous Oxitec program between 2013 and 2015. Oxitec released millions of genetically engineered male mosquitoes in Brazil. Some of their female offspring survived long enough to reproduce. Researchers from Yale University say the local population is now likely more resilient, since the population has mixed with strains from Cuba and Mexico that were crossed together to create genetically modified males. In a statement released on August 19th, the International Center for Technology Assessment and Center for Food Safety called the plan a Jurassic Park experiment. What could possibly go wrong? We don't know because the EPA unlawfully refused to seriously analyze environmental risks. Now, without further review of the risks, the experiment can proceed, the group said. Well, here is what went wrong in Brazil.
Researchers from Yale University have found that an experiment to release transgenic mosquitoes in Brazil as a way to reduce the mosquito population has backfired. According to a Yale University news release, millions of genetically modified male Aedes aegypti mosquitoes were released over more than 2 years in Jacobina, Brazil. The mosquito strain carried a dominant lethal gene that was meant to render them unable to produce viable offspring with wild female mosquitoes. According to the Yale news release, the experiment was aimed at lowering the local mosquito population to reduce the public's risk of contracting diseases such as Zika, dengue, and yellow fever. In a study published in Scientific Reports, gene samples of both the transgenic and wild mosquitoes were analyzed before and after the release of the modified males. Researchers found that some of the wild species retained genes from the transgenic strain, despite initial claims that the genes would not enter the general population, as any offspring was expected to die. According to the news release, the mosquito population initially declined after the transgenic mosquitoes were released into the wild, but increased again after about 18 months. Researchers say the local population is now likely more resilient since the population has mixed with strains from Cuba and Mexico that were crossed together to create genetically modified males. Senior author of the study, Jeffrey Powell, hypothesized that population may have bounced back after local female mosquitoes learned and started avoiding mating with the modified males. Powell said in the news release that the mixed mosquitoes pose no known health risks.
Health experts plan to release mosquitoes infected with bacteria in parts of South America next year in an effort to stop Zika transmission. Wolbachia is a natural bacterium found in up to 60% of insects. However, it is not usually found in the Aedes aegypti mosquito, the main culprit for transmitting the Zika virus. To infect the mosquitoes with the bacteria, scientists had to inject it into mosquito embryos. They succeeded after numerous failed attempts. The bacteria is spread from female mosquitoes to their offspring, even if the female mates with an uninfected male. However, if an infected male mosquito mates with an uninfected female mosquito, their eggs won't hatch. The bacteria can stop viruses such as Zika from growing inside the mosquito, thus stopping them from being transmitted to humans. The Eliminate Dengue program, which developed the Wolbachia method, will be handling the deployment in South America. The group will continue to study the impact of Wolbachia mosquitoes on transmission of Zika, dengue, and chikungunya in large urban settings.
For more news animations and explainers, hit the subscribe and bell button to join the TomoNews family. Thanks for watching.